and the Interim Director for Iowa Homeland Security and Emergency Management, John Benson, who have the honor of announcing both the individual and the group 2020 Don Hampton Memorial Service Awards.
Good morning, everybody. As Laurie said, my name is John Benson. I am the Interim Director for the Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management for the state of Iowa. I get the distinct honor, and I got to do this yesterday for 2019, and we're making up time and we get to go to 2020. And this is probably one of the coolest things I get to do. I got the privilege of doing it yesterday, as I said, and I've always been excited in the past with my work with the department when we get to recognize people that are actually making a fundamental difference for the folks in the state of Iowa. The nomination today actually came from Glenn Leach and Russ Medley, and it's for Kelly Thompson. And as part of that process, both Russ and Glenn wrote some very, very absolutely glowing recommendations for Kelly. Her work with the Quad Cities Community Foundation, Disaster Ready Quad Cities, and then the Long-Term Recovery Committee in the Scott County area is impressive. In fact, if I were to read these, one of the letters is 2.5 pages long and the other one's 2 pages long. And we don't have that kind of time today, unfortunately, to read all of that. But I think it's safe to say that in reading those, when I read them, the thing that impressed me most about the work that Kelly has done has been the fact that she's one of those folks that's A, got the heart of a volunteer, but B, also recognizes when the opportunity to improve not only the processes that exist out there that support volunteers, but to really engage and not be afraid to step up and really make a difference. She kind of stepped into the Quad Cities area and looked at what can I do to improve? And really that philosophy appears to never have stopped. And that's really pretty impressive in this day and age of, people tending to be a little bit self-centered. It's interesting to look at and read about people that are truly selfless in the way they approach their efforts. And, as I said yesterday, when we've got people that are out there volunteering, and specifically in disaster type of situations, because it's work on the front end, it's work during the disaster, it's work after the disaster. To my eye, that's about the purest form of volunteerism that you can possibly have. So I won't belabor the point anymore because Kelly has done some awesome work. And on behalf of the department, I would personally like to thank you. But then I also get to say that it's my honor to present to you the Don Hampton Disaster Volunteer of the Year Award for 2020. So congratulations, Kelly.
Thank you so much, John. I was told I could say a few words, and I want to thank everyone, thank the Iowa Disaster Human Resource Council. I want to especially thank Glenn Leach, who provided leadership for the COAD over the years and made sure that it was strong and ready when we were ready to take the next step. I want to thank Russell Medley and all of the members of Disaster Ready Quad Cities. I appreciate this so much. I'm so honored, but I also think it's kind of funny to have an individual award for disaster response because none of us can do this alone. And so I'm so conscious over the last year and change and in disasters prior of the work of all the members of Disaster Ready Quad Cities. In this last year of the work of Dave Donovan, our Scott County Emergency Manager, who coordinated our regional COVID coalition and who emphasizes collaboration as the way to be most successful. I want to thank all of the members of the staff here at the Community Foundation, the Quad Cities Community Foundation where I work, because none of this would have been possible without each and every one of them. I want to thank my partner, Matt, who snuck on the call today to join me in hearing this, because he got to be on the supportive end of a lot of that time of working on this. And I just want to thank everybody on the call and who's working so hard still to support our communities in recovery from the pandemic. Keep it up. Let's just keep going. Thank you all so much. Lori, I don't know if you're frozen or if I'm okay to just go into the group award.
Absolutely, Jessica. Go ahead.
Okay. I didn't want to jump over you. Okay. Well, I am really excited to be able to present the 2020 Don Hampton Volunteer Group Award today. And I was telling my husband about this organization yesterday and the award that they're receiving, and I got a little choked up because I think the work that they did is just phenomenal. I think doing what they did outside of a pandemic would have been really difficult, and they did it during the pandemic. And I thought doing something like this within a community would be incredible, but they did it across the entire state. So they've just kind of taken some incredible work to the most incredible level in the last year. So I'm so excited to tell you about them. You can see on the award, the award is going to the Iowa Latino Alliance, and on the award, it says Linea de Ayuda. I don't speak Spanish, but I've practiced that, so I hope that I said it okay. And it means the helpline. So the Iowa Latino Alliance saw a great need in the state of Iowa. I don't know if anyone had the opportunity to join the diversity, equity, and inclusion panel that was going on yesterday. And Sonia Reyes mentioned that Iowa has, the population is 7% Latino, which is an incredible amount. And during the pandemic, this group recognized that information was not being directed to Spanish speakers, that there was a huge communication gap, getting information and accurate information to all community members. So these individuals worked very hard and came up with a Spanish helpline that essentially became a case management function. And it developed very quickly and even turned into opportunities for them to create videos in Spanish to educate the Latino communities, ensuring that accurate information was getting to them in appropriate amount of time. They began translating information coming out of the governor's office into Spanish for communities. And they worked hard to get into the media with radio and print to ensure that all information was going to all Spanish-speaking Iowans. And they did all of this while working their 9-to-5 careers and volunteering in their own communities. So there is a lot of work that they've done. And I think what's so great about it is that it was born out of a need during the pandemic, but I don't see them stopping anytime soon. I think this is something that will continue to benefit Spanish-speaking Iowans for a very long time. So I just want to thank them for their hard work and tell them congratulations and what a huge blessing they are to the state of Iowa. And then I will go ahead and turn it over to Shalom to go ahead and speak.
Thank you. My name is Shalom Musniak-Cordan. My pronouns are she, her, and ella, and several of us here founding volunteers are in the call. So I just wanted to share a little bit about La Linea de Ayuda, which is the Iowa Spanish helpline that came from the nomination, and then call out some of the founding volunteers and have them wave and show their faces if they're ready to. So the Linea de Ayuda was created, like Jessica said, in 2020 by Latino volunteers to support the Latino community through the pandemic. Over 15 groups and volunteers came together to do the website, the Facebook page, a phone number that callers could call and get resources and connections to resources in Spanish in a virtual manner. So that was set statewide and staffed by Latino volunteers. They really were able to define and establish the framework for that case management line with the understanding that trust and lived experience in the Latino community is invaluable to the successful of such a service. So Latino community members were able to lean into their own lived experiences as Latinos in the state, as well as the relationships they have either serving or volunteering in Latino-led or Latino serving organizations, which really helped build trust and support of the hotline through such crazy time. the Latino advocates also understood that the past and current events that were going on that led to a higher level of distrust, and were able to share their journey in the state of bringing the knowledge of the navigational systems and such. So that made a huge difference. The idea of nothing about us without us was really the driving force between or behind the virtual case management line. So like Jessica said, we are not stopping with the pandemic. We hope to push it even forward, bigger, expanded, and better serve Latinos across the state. So I will call out the founding volunteers if they can wave. So Gisela Aiken Shadle, Edith Cabrera Tello, Ramon Calzada, Rosa Gonzalez, Caleb Knudsen, Emilia Marroquin, Luis Moreno, Alejandro Pino, Sonia Reyes, Claudia Rivera, Dalila Sayadiam, and Shalom Musunya Cordan. So thank you so much, and thank you all that volunteer their time to do this. We really thought of this idea, and within a week or two, the virtual case management line was on, and we were serving at night, on the weekend. So I just appreciate everyone, and I'm so proud of the product that we put out. So thank you.
Congratulations to our Don Hampton Award recipients. What a well-deserved honor, and thank you for being here today. And now let's take a moment of reflection and self-care. Suzanne Malloy will walk us through a short self-care moment from Presbyterian Disaster Assistance.